Have you ever thought about taking advantage of your old magazines and turning them into some beautiful home decor? Well, that's what we're going to do today, and because we already have it, it's going to be free. We are going to be doing some amazing free and cheap decor ideas today, and our first one is going to be from these magazines. Now, I love thumbing through a magazine, and so every now and again, my darling husband will pick me up a magazine, bring it home along with some mini M&Ms because you've got to have a snack while you're looking through your magazines. So I have a whole stack that are just collecting dust. I thought I'm gonna thumb through these and I'm gonna find some beautiful pictures in here that I can frame. Now, I love this magazine, and inside there are some gorgeous photos of flowers. I scoured the pages and I selected 6 of them. And all I need to do is get a pair of scissors and cut these pictures out. Luckily, these photos are the same size, which is going to make it so convenient to cut out our artwork later on. They're also in the same color tone, which is a variety of different shades of pink. The biggest obstacle that we are going to have to overcome is making sure that our magazine clippings don't look like they're magazine clippings. You know how the pages are glossy? Well, we want to tone down that gloss, and we also want to add some brush strokes. We are going to do that with some Mod Podge and a sponge brush. I painted on a top coat of Mod Podge over each one of our floral magazine clippings. This technique will soften the glossy sheen while introducing brushstroke textures, creating an elegant oil painting effect over the flowers. Now, you are going to want to make sure that the Mod Podge stays just on the surface of your clippings, because if it gets onto the side and then you put it down on a piece of paper or something to let it dry, it will stick. So make sure that the Mod Podge stays simply on the surface. Once I was finished adding the Mod Podge to each of my floral photos, I let it dry for 2 hours. Next, we need a frame. Instead of going out and purchasing a new frame, I just rummaged through my frames that I already have, and I selected this beautiful gold frame. I used it at Christmas time. I put a wintry village print inside. This frame will go perfectly with our vintage roses. It has a gorgeous gold sheen and ornate detailing. I want to customize the mat that's going to go inside of our frame. I purchased this in the clearance section, and it was only $3.74 back then, and I've got plenty left over, which is going to be great for our project. And this is super thick, so it's going to look very high-end. I'm going to take the paper insert out of the frame, place it over the mat, trace out the size I need with a ruler and a pencil, and then cut it out with a pair of scissors. The mat is thick, which is going to add elegance to our artwork. Because we have 6 photos, we need 6 little windows cut into our mat. So I got my ruler back out and my pencil, and I measured exactly where I wanted the smaller rectangles to be. I want everything equidistant from each other. Instead of using scissors to cut out these rectangles, I'm going to be using an X-Acto knife. This is going to be so much more convenient, and it's also going to give us clean cuts that the scissors can't achieve. I ran the X-Acto knife several times along the pencil line because of how thick the mat was. An X-Acto knife is also fantastic for navigating those corners because we want sharp, accurate results. I cut out 6 rectangles so I can display my 6 floral photos. A small detail that I want to add to the inside of my frames is a little gold line. So I got a paint pen from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to get my ruler and draw a gold line inside each of my rectangular openings. Adding a small detail like this is what makes your artwork look custom and unique. I think it looks classy, and it's an easy way to add a high-end detail to your mat. Now that our Mod Podge is dry, I can flip it over, take all of my gorgeous floral photos in each of the rectangular windows. I'm going to get some Scotch tape and add a bit of this tape to the back of the photo and press it to the mat. The tape will hold our photos in place. Once all my photos had been positioned, I decided that it needed one more detail, which was going to be to use this gold paint pen once again and draw a line on the picture itself. So once again, I used my Dollar Tree gold paint pen to add this gold detail to my photo. The gold line ties all of the pictures together. It gives them one cohesive touch that makes these photos look like a collection. Now I can add my mat and photos back inside of the frame. And that's it. We are completely done with our free wall art. Can you believe that magazine clippings created this artwork? One of my favorite details about this artwork is the brush strokes from the Mod Podge. It looks elegant and it camouflages the fact that these photos came from a magazine. The thick mat is higher quality than using scrapbook paper, and the gold detail along each of our rectangular openings is custom and unique. I did not purchase one single thing to create this custom wall art. I had everything at home, and I just took advantage of old magazines, leftover mat, and a frame that I already have. By using some creativity and a little ingenuity, we were able to create a one-of-a-kind piece of artwork that looks expensive and high-end. So if you have some leftover magazines, thumb through them, find some beautiful photos, cut them out, and turn it into a classy piece of artwork. Because it's summertime, we have an abundance of blooming flowers and greenery, so we are going to take advantage of that today. And I'm sure that all of you have access to some kind of greenery, whether it's leaves or flowers, so you can do this with me. And if you go outside to collect all of your greenery, this part of this project will be free. So besides the flowers that I have gone outside and picked, I'm also going to be using a Dollar Tree vase. I love the Dollar Tree. They've got such a variety of different sizes of vases. You can spend $1.25, $3, or $5. I'm choosing a $1.25 vase because we're keeping our costs low today. And then I also have a piece of floral foam. Now all I did was get this a little bit damp, and you guys know that there is nothing wrong with using a floral foam that you have previously used. A couple of holes in the floral foam is just fine. So I'm going to be using the floral foam, and then also I have a rubber band. So I'm going to take my floral foam, I'm going to press it right up against the vase, and then I'm going to take my rubber band, place that over the top of the floral foam. That way it is now stuck to my vase. Next, I'm going to take my flowers. I have a few different varieties. I've got some that have dark pink, and then I've got some pretty ones that have these light pink flowers on them. These are just from my bushes outside. And what I'm going to do is just cut off a few of these stems, just like that. And then I'm going to place it inside of my floral foam. I'm just gonna poke it right inside. I'm gonna cut some that are longer, some that are a little bit shorter. I'm just gonna poke it right in until all of my floral foam is completely covered in these beautiful flowers. Now I have all my beautiful flowers pressed inside of the floral foam. I'm going to next take just the leaves. I'm going to trim these down just a little bit, and I'm going to start to just tuck them right inside of the rubber band, and that's going to hold them up. Now you can kind of maneuver the leaves around a little bit to hide the rubber band if you don't want to see that, or if you want to, you could get a ribbon and cover the rubber band in the ribbon, or some twine. You could definitely do that as well, but I'm just going to continue to take these beautiful stems of leaves and just place them inside of the rubber band. The rubber band is fantastic. It's going to keep all of our leaves in place. Look at how pretty this vase is. We've got greenery and flowers around the entire perimeter of this vase. But we are not done yet. What we are going to do is take some water and we are going to fill up our vase. Now this is a project that you could do a couple of hours before your party begins. You could just get your vases, add your flowers, and then right before the party, get your water, fill up your vases, and then we're going to get a floating candle and just pop that right in the top and light it up. This is so pretty, you guys. We've got our flowers, we've got the vase, we've got the water inside that makes our candle float, and I love the way that candles look, especially during a party. Can you imagine creating a whole row of these and have these down the center of your tablescape or on a food buffet? It would look absolutely stunning. And everything I used to create this beautiful decor piece was free, or I had it at home. I just took advantage of flowers from outside. I used a Dollar Tree vase, water, and a floating candle. That's it. Oh, and the rubber band. Can't forget the rubber band. That's what's holding everything together. But with those simple tools, we were able to create a stunning floral arrangement for a summer party. If you're like me, keeping your home clean with a busy schedule, kids, maybe a furry friend or two can definitely be a challenge. And that is why I'm so excited to introduce you to the Tapo RV30 Max Plus Robot Vacuum and Mop. This amazing vacuum is about to make your life so much easier, so let's dive in. First off, the Tapo RV30 Max Plus is a 2-in-1 vacuum and mop with an amazing 5300 PA suction power that's strong enough to tackle pet hair, crumbs, and even those sneaky dust bunnies hiding under your couch. Plus, its a LiDAR and IMU dual navigation system maps your home in just 15 minutes. And having your home mapped is fantastic because then you know that that robot vacuum is not going to miss any spots or bump into your furniture. Look at how it glides around my coffee table and in and out of my chairs like a pro. One of my favorite things is that you can use the Tapo app to control this vacuum. Now, if you remember, I actually have the video doorbell and I have a video camera outside. So all I needed to do was go to the app and add my vacuum. So now I have all of my amazing Tapo products in one place. You can set up no-go zones, schedule cleanings, or even pick specific rooms to clean. You can tell it to avoid carpets when mopping or focus on high traffic areas like the kitchen. It also has voice control, so you can use Google Home or Alexa. Let's talk about the auto emptying dock. Once it's done mopping and vacuuming your floors, it will just retreat back to the dock and empty its dustbin into a 3-liter sealed dust bag that lasts up to 2 months. That's 2 months of hands-free cleaning. No more messing with dusty bins every day. Plus, the dock is very compact, so you can tuck it neatly away into a corner. The mopping feature is probably one of my favorite features because I have so much tile in my house. With a 300 milliliter water tank and 3 water flow levels, it gives your floors a nice shine. It even avoids carpet when it's in the mopping mode, so no soggy rugs. Some robot vacuums can be so loud, but this is very quiet. At just 52 to 55 decibels, it's quieter than my old vacuum, so I can run it while working or watching TV. And with a 500 mAh battery, it can clean for up to 3 hours. This robot vacuum is very affordable as well, so you're definitely getting a bang for your buck. It's powerful, smart, and saves you so much time and money. I will leave a link to this Tapo robot vacuum in my description box so you can head on over to their website and check out all the amazing products that Tapo has to offer. We're going to set this off to the side for just a minute and I'm going to give you option number 2. I have this beautiful glass apothecary jar. I've had it for a long time. I love the size and the shape of it. And what I did was I filled it about 3/4 of the way with water. Now, if you don't have an apothecary jar, you can use a glass bowl. You could use a mason jar or even a vase. So don't feel like you have to have something this substantial to create this project. So now that my apothecary jar is filled up with water, what I'm gonna do is take my remaining flowers and I am just going to put them into the water. Now, there's not gonna be any rhyme or reason to the way that I put them in. What I want them to do is just float in there kind of organically. I'm gonna make sure that I have different sizes of stems. That way I have flowers that are down towards the bottom and I've got some out the top. And I'm going to make sure that I have both colors intermixed. I've got my light pink and I've got my dark pink flowers. So we're going to add both of those into my jar. If you didn't have flowers like this, you could definitely use some stems of leaves. I think using all leaves would be so pretty as well. So I've got all of these gorgeous flowers that I'm going to add. And I'd like to thank my yard for supplying them. You can find some things outside that are free. I have used magnolia seed pods. I've used magnolia flowers before. So just go outside and see what you have. You could fill this up with pine cones and it would be just beautiful. All right, so now that we've got our flowers inside floating in our apothecary jar, we can leave it like this. Look at that, you guys. What a beautiful centerpiece. You could put this on a table, on a buffet, you could put it in an entryway, and it's a beautiful way to introduce some fresh flowers, especially during the summer season, and you can pick any color of flower that you want. If you wanted to, you could leave the lid off and get some more of these floating candles and place those in the water. They are just gonna sit right on top of the water and maybe even on top of the flowers. So I'm gonna put those in there and then I'm gonna light them up. This time you are not going to replace the lid because the candle needs the air to breathe. This is another example of an easy, affordable home decor piece that is free or very cheap to create. They are stunning and dependent on the flowers, they could definitely be one of a kind. And let's talk about how easy this was to create. Fill a jar up with water, add some flowers and some floating candles, done. Very affordable, simple to make, yet it is extremely classy. Our next free or cheap project is going to start off with some bars of soap. I know, sounds a little strange, but it's going to be fantastic. So I headed over to the Dollar Tree because I wanted to find some affordable soap. My Dollar Tree has an array of soap bars in different colors, fragrances, and shapes. I'm gonna get the biggest bang for my buck. So I'm gonna buy the 3-pack of the faux Irish Spring, and then I'm also gonna get a 2-pack of the pink Zest soap. So I'm getting 5 bars of soap for $2.50. That's a great deal. Now what I'm gonna do with these bars of soap is just chop them up. We want them to be cut into very small, minuscule little pieces. I got a cutting board and a sharp knife and I sliced the pink bar of soap into little squares. Make sure you dice your soap small because we are going to melt it down. Once I had all of my soap chopped up, I placed it into a heat-safe bowl, and then I moved on to my 3 bars of faux Irish Spring. I sliced and diced up these bars of soap, and then once again, I added them to a heat-safe bowl. There are 2 ways that you can melt down your soap. The first is to put it in a microwave and set the timer for 30 seconds. You're gonna do 30-second increments and stir after the 30 seconds is up until it's melted. What I'm going to do is create a double boiler. So I got out a pot and I filled it about halfway with some water and then I brought it to a low simmer. I took my bowl and I placed it over the top. You can see that the water is still simmering underneath, and then I just let the soap begin to melt. It's going to take longer to do it this way than it is to do the microwave version, but I figured I had a little more control over it this way, so it did take me some extra time, but I just stirred the soap until it began to melt. It is not going to be liquid. It's going to be more of like a Play-Doh consistency. Once you reach that thick like peanut butter stage, you know you're done. At this point, you could add some essential oils. Mine were already scented, so I didn't need to do that, but they do have essential oils at the Dollar Tree, so you can do that very affordably. What we're gonna do with our melted down soap is shape it into something completely different, and we're gonna do it with some silicone molds. I have a large floral one. This is gonna be great for the bigger bars of soap, and then I have this cute little heart one, and these are perfect for the little teeny fun size bars of soap. So all I did was take my soap and press it into the silicone molds. You're gonna wanna pack it in there really well. The more compact the soap is, the crisper the shape will be. I filled up all of my silicone molds with the soap. I packed it in there really well, and then I took the remaining soap and placed it in the larger floral silicone mold. Again, I'm placing it in there firmly, and I'm filling it up to the top. If you like free or cheap home decor that looks high-end, then you've come to the right place. I post weekly videos on all things related to the home. We do dupes, room transformation, Dollar Tree DIYs, and so much more. So make sure that you're subscribed so you won't miss out on your weekly dose of home decor inspiration. So I'm going to set these molds off to the side for just a second, and we're gonna move on to our pretend Irish Spring bars of soap. Once again, I placed the chopped up bowl of soap on top of the simmering water, and I let the soap melt down to that Play-Doh consistency. This time I'm going to be using this cute little bow mold. This is actually for suckers. You can see it's got a little indent for a stick. But what I'm gonna do is just take advantage of the bow portion. So I just pressed that soap right into the mold. Again, I'm pressing it in there very firmly, and it's okay if you get soap on the outside of the mold. You can trim all that off later. Once my bowl molds were filled with the soap, I took the excess soap and pressed it into the large floral molds. I pressed it in there really tight so it was nice and compact. I actually had enough for 3 of the large flowers. In fact, we had so much soap left over that we had enough to fill up the heart molds. But first, we've got to pop out our pink soap. So after about 30 minutes, the soap had solidified and I was able to pop these hearts right out. Look at how easy it was to remove these. They didn't stick at all because we pressed the soap really well inside of the mold. They have a fantastic heart shape. There are some that are a little crackled, but that's okay. Our soap has personality. A little bit of character in our soap is a fun thing. Now that I have removed the pink hearts, I can fill the molds back up with the green soap. Once again, I packed the soap in there tightly, and then I let the green Irish Spring soap dry for an additional 30 minutes. Now I can pop out all of the soap from all of the molds. Using the silicone was definitely the right choice. It's so easy to remove all the soap from these molds. None of the soap pieces broke at all, which was crazy. I figured that there'd be a couple that might break, but none of them did. And now we have a huge variety of shapes, sizes, and colored soaps. Look at this array of soap we have. I've got so many pieces, and can you believe all of these were only $2.50, you guys? What a great deal. There are so many things that you can do with these cute little soap bars. I'm gonna give you a few ideas. The first is to just get a cellophane bag. Put some of the little shredded paper in it. I've got this little grass-like paper. I'm just gonna pop it right inside of our bag. And then I can take my little soap hearts and place them inside. These are so cute. What a fun gift this would be. And it would be so affordable as well. Just gonna add a couple of pieces of soap to each one of our bags. This would be fun as a party favor. You could put these next to a table setting if you were having a fun brunch or a luncheon with the girls. Everybody would love a little mini soap. All right, so we've got these right here. Our next option is to get some small apothecary jars and fill them up with the soap. The reason why I love using these apothecary jars is because you can place them either in a kitchen or on a bathroom counter and just fill them up with these little pieces of soap. So I'm gonna add some of the larger soaps in here, and then I've got some little hearts that I can place in here. These are smaller jars, so they're gonna be perfect for our smaller pieces of soap. And let me tell you, my house smells amazing right now. The soap has made this house smell like it's fresh and clean. So this would be great to have in a bathroom. You could even just take the lid off and let the scent just waft around the bathroom. If you've got soap bars in your house that you are not going to use or that have been sitting in a closet or a bathroom cabinet for a very long time, melt it down, create something different, and use it as either a decor piece or a beautiful gift to give away. We were able to create so many free and cheap decor ideas today, and they were so simple that anyone can do it. The majority of the items I'm sure you already have in your home or outdoors. You don't need to spend a lot of money to create beautiful decor that will elevate the look of your home. I think we definitely proved that you can live beautifully, you can do it for free or cheap, and you can still have beautiful decor pieces that look high-end. I have some restoration hardware dupes coming up next week. I'm so excited to share with you all of those, so make sure you're subscribed so you won't miss out on that video. And then of course, we've got some fabulous DIY home decor and room transformations coming up as well. Well, I hope you got some inspiration or some ideas today. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much for watching.